I am waiting for specific information.
Que nous devions subir matin.
Uganda is now a free country.
Hello, thanks for watching Afrolens. My name is Gentil Niwe. On our today's episode, we'll be looking at the 6th European Union African Union Summit that took place in Brussels, Belgium this week. Did the EU-African Summit reform the Europe-Africa relations? Did this summit in any way signify a fresh start as far as Europe-Africa relations are concerned? What did Africa benefit from this summit? If you have not yet subscribed to our YouTube channel, please go ahead and do so. Do this to be the first one to know whenever I upload a new video. Let's get the bottom line of this story. European Union and African Union leaders launched a two-day summit in Brussels this week. Over 40 African leaders were present at this summit. The two-day talks covered investment, security, health, and migration issues. The major aim of the EU was to convince Africans that Europe was Africa's most reliable partner in the face of tough competition from Russia and China on the continent. The Senegalese President Macky Sall, who is the chairman of the African Union, did state that this was a fresh start for a renewed partnership. On the other hand, the European Council President Charles Michel proclaimed that, I quote, "We are not here to carry on business as usual." Let's look at the main points that were articulated in the opening speech by the President of the European Commission, President von der Leyen. I quote, "In my very first speech when I came into office as President of the European Commission, I emphasized that Africa would be the key partner in building the world we want to live in. This summit is the perfect opportunity to discuss how we are going to work together and how we are making our joint ambitions a reality. We want to invest in quality infrastructure, connecting people and goods and services. We want a values-based approach. We offer transparency and good governance. Global Gateway will master Europe's power to unlock unprecedented levels of investment in Africa. We can expect a package of at least 150 billion euros for Africa for the next 7 years under the Global Gateway strategy. Today's summit is our first milestone. I cherish the vision of two continents working hand in hand to improve the world we live in." Those were the major points that the President of the European Commission did mention in her opening speech. Separately, the European Investment Bank did make also a big announcement that it would make available 500 million euros in cheap loans to African countries to invest in their healthcare systems. It also said that this credit line is expected to mobilize a total of 1 billion euros in private and public investments. At the climax of this summit, on the second day, we did witness a big announcement. The Director General of the World Health Organization, Dr. Tedros, did announce that the WHO and the EU were going to establish mRNA vaccine technology transfer hubs in 6 African countries, including Nigeria, Senegal, Egypt, Kenya, Tunisia, and South Africa. Wow, this was a big announcement. All African leaders who were present at this summit were extremely happy. Dr. Tedros went ahead to say that this technology was going to help Africans develop vaccines against other sicknesses like cancer, malaria, and tuberculosis. The EU went ahead to promise that it was going to provide support to help Africa produce 60% of the vaccines that it needs by 2040. As of today, only over 5% of medicines and 1% of vaccines consumed in Africa are locally produced. According to me, these were the main points or announcements that were made in the two-day summit in Brussels. Of course, a lot of things were discussed on top of the few I've just mentioned here, but these were the major or key issues that were tackled in this summit. So, did this summit in any way signify a sort of a fresh start as far as Africa-Europe relations are concerned? Here is my take on these 2 points. Let's first talk about the 150 billion. It's important to understand that when the Europeans were designing the global gateway investment strategy, they were not thinking about helping Africa to develop or trying to lift up the lives of Africans. No. This investment program was developed to counter the Chinese Belt and Road Initiative. That's the reason as to why the Europeans decided to come up with the global gateway investment strategy. So what I would like to tell Africans is that the Europeans didn't come up with this global gateway investment strategy to benefit Africans. No, that was not their primary aim. Their primary aim was to rival the Chinese Belt and Road Initiative. Well, is this good for Africans? Yes, this is extremely good for Africans, as long as we play our cards right. Now we have 2 options. We can get loans from China and we can get loans from Europe. This means that if Africa plays its cards right, we shall get loans at very low interest rates. If our African politicians raise the standard of the game when it comes to securing loans, they will be able to get loans at very low interests because China will be competing with Europe in providing loans to Africa. Of course, if I would give my own opinion as far as these loans are concerned, first and foremost, I would love to tell Africans we shouldn't take loans because there are people willing to give us loans. No, we should take loans if we need them, if we deem them necessary. We should get this money and invest it in the right things. For instance, a country like Zambia and Kenya are not expected to take more loans because they have taken loans to an extent that they will soon start failing to service these loans. So I don't expect Kenya or Zambia to go for these loans. But for other African countries like Nigeria, Tanzania, South Africa that are in position to repay these loans, they can go for them. But at least not Kenya or Zambia. These guys, they have taken too much loans that they cannot afford to pay today. What we are witnessing here is the second phase of the scramble and partition for Africa. All the great global powers want to have some sort of partnership with Africa. China wants to have a relationship with Africa. Britain, France, Germany, Russia, America, Japan, Turkey, all the global powers, they want to have some sort of partnership with Africa. Is this bad? No, it's not bad. This means Africa has a chance to raise its standards. We have to raise our standards. We have to raise our bargaining power. We are selling like a hot cake, so our bargaining power must be raised. Because if the Chinese are not willing to work with us, the Europeans are dying to work with us. If the Europeans are not willing to do something good to Africans, the Russians, they are willing to do something good to Africans. If the Americans are reluctant to invest in Africa, the Chinese are more than just willing to invest billions in Africa. We just need to up our game. We need to raise our standard. We need to raise our bargaining power, our bargaining price. That's all that Africa needs to do in order to benefit from this second phase of the scramble and partition for Africa. Because the first phase of the scramble and partition for Africa that took place in 1884, 1885 in the Berlin Conference, the Africans were not involved. It was only the European powers that sat down and divided Africa among themselves. But in this second phase of the scramble and partition for Africa, Africans are on the table. They are involved. Africans are involved in the discussions and negotiations. So we have a chance to say what you want. We have a chance to name our price, to set our standards high, to raise our bargaining price. And at the end of it all, Africa can equally benefit like these other global powers who want to have a sort of partnership with Africa. You know, I look at Africa as a beautiful woman, grown-up woman, living in one community, and over 10 men are interested in marrying this woman. This woman will need some high level of understanding and wisdom in order to make the right decision, to know among the 10 men who is the right man for her. Because if there are 10 men, some of these men will end up going to this woman not because they love her, not because they want to do something important with her, but because they can't afford seeing this woman with other men. So they'll end up going there. This is the reason you're seeing Europe is coming to Africa today. Europe has nothing good for Africa. It doesn't mean that Europe wants to develop Africa. No. Europe is coming to Africa today because it can't afford seeing Africa falling in love with China. No, they can't afford seeing this. So Africa, we need to be very smart and very wise. We have to understand who is the right person to work with. Who has the best deal for Africa? Who is offering the highest price? We must be very smart in this. For example, when it comes to Chinese loans, actually I think Chinese loans are better than European loans. European loans come with strings attached to them, conditions. You must make sure gay rights are observed in your countries. They'll tell them, we as Europeans, we believe in democracy. So you must make sure you have the European version of democracy in your countries. But the good thing about Chinese loans, they have no strings attached to them. You want a loan? Let's sign an agreement. Have your loan. As simple as that. Another good thing about Chinese loans, the Chinese government makes sure the loan does serve the purpose. That's why you are seeing Chinese companies building roads in Africa, building railways in Africa. They make sure the loan does serve its purpose. But on the other hand, most loans from Europe, America end up in accounts of some individuals, which accounts, of course, are in Switzerland, are in New York and Paris or London. So when it comes to loans, I would tell Africans we should go for Chinese loans, though we must also up our game when it comes to negotiating these loans, because Chinese are very smart when negotiating loans. We must also raise our standards and up our game when it comes to dealing with Chinese. If we do that, we shall get good loans from China and we shall develop our continent properly. The second big announcement in this summit was the technology transfer, the mRNA technology transfer. Europe and the World Health Organization, they are willing to help Africa develop the technology of manufacturing COVID-19 vaccines. Well, if I may ask, does this mean that COVID-19 is the major pressing issue in Africa today? Does this mean that Africa is losing millions that Europeans feel like they must come in, give Africa their technology to save lives in Africa? I doubt. I really doubt. European politicians are political demagogues. They know that Africans are scared of COVID-19. They know that Africans are not well informed about COVID-19. They know that Africans trust Europeans. Now they are playing their cards right. Trust me, these Europeans don't have any good intention as far as this technology transfer is concerned. If you may talk about 5 most pressing issues in Africa, trust me, COVID-19 is not one of them. The main problem in Africa today is poor infrastructures, insecurity, lack of clean and safe water, poverty. Millions of Africans are still living below the poverty line. Millions of Africans are not yet connected to electricity. Millions of Africans don't even have access to internet. Those are pressing issues in Africa. Of course, there are so many others. But telling me today that Europeans have discovered that Africans need COVID-19 vaccines more than any other thing is trying to defy my understanding. I personally have my own reservations against COVID-19 and the move by the European Union to transfer the technology to manufacture COVID-19 vaccines has made me more skeptical of their agenda. Africa needs technology transfer in other fields and not technology to manufacture COVID-19 vaccines, because in the first place, we do not need these vaccines. When we needed help for vaccines, it's when Africans were dying from Ebola. We lost thousands in Sierra Leone, Liberia. We lost hundreds in DRC, even sometimes in Uganda. But we never saw these Europeans coming up with this kind of technology to help us fight against Ebola. We have been dealing with malaria for decades. Africans have been dealing with tuberculosis for decades now. Up to date. African countries are still struggling with HIV/AIDS, and Europe has been less interested in coming to help us. Why are they coming today to help us with COVID-19, which is not a problem to Africans? Africans, we have to wake up. We have to be very smart. I was very surprised to see African leaders dancing, very happy that, wow, this is amazing. You know, if Europe wants to transfer some sort of technology to Africans, they should share with us the technology to build railways, technology to manufacture smartphones, technology to manufacture or build satellites, technology to manufacture cars, technology in AI, artificial intelligence. We have some sorts of technology that may be useful to Africans, but not the technology to manufacture COVID-19 vaccines. So Africans, we need to wake up. According to me, this summit was not that very special. It was just an ordinary summit. Only one thing was special about this summit. For the first time, I saw Europeans treating Africans as equal partners. For the first time, I saw Europeans extending some high degree of respect to African leaders. That's the only positive thing that I saw in this summit. When I was listening to the speeches from the European leaders, I saw some sense of respect dedicated towards Africans. They referred to Africans as equal partners. That's the only thing good I saw in this summit. So when it comes to the loans, the 150 billion, the technology transfer, they didn't make any big difference to me because China is willing to do the same thing. Technology transfer that will not benefit Africans. A technology transfer that I think is meant to do other things bad to Africans. When I look at this summit, I just see Europeans trying to counter the Chinese influence in Africa, which is not a bad thing in the first place, but less beneficial to Africans. That's all we had for you today here at AfroLens. I hope you've learned and enjoyed. For those who have not yet subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, please go ahead and do so. Do this to be the first one to know whenever I upload a new video. Also remember to like and comment. Comment so that we can know what you think about this analysis. My name is Gentil Niwe. Till we meet again, bye-bye for now.